there guys, how are you today, and welcome to my preview of 2018 French Grand Prix taking place at the Circuit Prix this weekend. The French Grand Prix last took place in 2008, it was won by Ferrari. The Circuit Prix has long straights but also some twisty parts where teams will need some downforce, maybe making car setup very difficult this weekend. Reigning world champions Mercedes do come into this weekend with the lead in the World Championship, but they have had a couple of difficult races, particularly the Canadian Grand Prix, and that was mostly as a result of not being able to use their brand new engine update as they didn't believe it to be reliable enough. Certainly a chink in their armour, but they'll be hoping at the French Grand Prix they'll be able to improve and their new engines for both drivers will arrive and they'll be able to get back to the top of the leaderboard. So, especially in Canada, Hamilton had a difficult weekend, only finishing 5th and leading his lead at the top of the World Championship, furthering Vettel's win. Bottas has been having a great season apart from Baku, and will be hoping the French Grand Prix will be where he finally gets a victory in 2018. And meanwhile, their main championship rivals, Ferrari, are obviously going to be on a high, furthering Vettel's victory in Canada, his 50th victory in Formula 1. And obviously they want another strong performance at the French Grand Prix, as in the last French Grand Prix in 2008 at Circuit Magny-Cours, they did get a 1-2, even though in reality that means nothing now. The normal rumours about Kimi Raikkonen's future at the team are beginning, and sometime at this time in the season he starts to perform to make sure he can be at the team for next season. However, he didn't do so well in Canada, and he will need a good result and maybe some podiums to stop rumours about being replaced. But if he is going to be replaced, who will be there next season? Charles Leclerc, Nico Hülkenberg, Daniel Ricciardo? Who do you think? Tell me in the comments down below. Obviously the biggest story going into this weekend's Grand Prix is that from 2019 Red Bull will be using the Honda engine. Of course the Honda engine was previously used by McLaren Honda, but it was crap, let's be honest, let's not beat around the bush, it was shit. But they had awful 3 seasons together. And now Honda is powering Toro Rosso, and there have been signs of improvement, and clearly enough signs for a top team like Red Bull to take the Honda engine for 2019, suggesting they have fallen apart with their relationship with their other engine supplier, Renault. Of course it's very exciting, and we'll see how this maybe impacts the driver market. Will Ricciardo want to stay despite the new engine and anything like that? So of course Red Bull at the Canadian Grand Prix kind of went back into their normal positions, following Ricciardo's amazing victory in the Monaco Grand Prix. Verstappen did do well to be on the podium, and apparently it's come out at that race Red Bull asked him to be basically at the team alone, not have any family or friends with him, so he can concentrate on his driving. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that this weekend, and either way whether Verstappen can have another clean and very successful race. Again, going into the Grand Prix, lots of rumours about the future of Daniel Ricciardo, and I guess it's very interesting to see whether he can be part of the 2018 championship fight. Of course, he is only about 40 points behind Vettel, I believe, and will Red Bull be able to give him the opportunity to fight for the championship starting at the French Grand Prix, and ultimately can he be compared to Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel? These are all questions that hopefully we can get some answers from during the French Grand Prix. Renault come into this Grand Prix obviously under some pressure, as it is going to be their home race. Of course they want to perform well in front of their home fans, and maybe people such as the boss of the company Renault could be at the race. So obviously they need a strong showing from both their drivers, Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz. After the Canadian Grand Prix, the team are now in a comfortable P4 in the Constructors, but they can't get complacent, and they'll need another strong result and weekend if they're going to hold on to that position after the French Grand Prix. They are reportedly on target for their target of getting treble the number of points they got last season, having already hit their points level from the whole of 2017, showing how much progress the team has made in 2018. Now, McLaren's lead driver Fernando Alonso will obviously be on the high after his victory in the Le Mans 24-hour race at the weekend. Of course, that is his second part of the Triple Crown, Monaco, Le Mans, but he still needs to win the Indy 500. So maybe there's talk now of him moving to the Indy 500 permanently to achieve his dream of the Triple Crown. Which means we could only have roughly half a season left of the F1 great Fernando Alonso. And of course, McLaren driver rumours are important considering all the rumours about Toro Rosso trying to get Lando Norris from McLaren. Do McLaren maybe know that Alonso's leaving and need Norris in the team for next season? Maybe, just speculation, who knows. And of course, lots of interest, and it'll be interesting to see how Fernando Alonso does this weekend and see how interested he seems in the sport as well. Also, obviously, there's lots of pressure then on Stoffel Vandoorne, who has had a difficult season in terms of results, and he really needs to perform. And you know, if there's going to be driver changes, started by Alonso going to Indy 500, it'll be very exciting to see how all that happens. Of course, McLaren's engine supply, Renault have the home race, and we'll be hoping that all the Renault-powered cars, including McLaren, have a strong weekend. Force India have slowly been improving over the last few races, and they'll be hoping that this trend continues at the French Grand Prix. Obviously, this is Esteban Ocon's home race, and he'll be hoping for a really strong performance in the Force India in front of his home fans. The team needs to be beating Renault and McLaren if they want P4 in the Constructors. And I guess we have to ask, will the Mercedes engine upgrade help them? How much will it help them? And will it put them back in P4 in the Constructors' Championship? Another driver dealing with the pressure of it being his home race is Toro Rosso's Pierre Gasly, who in my opinion has been one of the standout performers in Formula 1 2018. Of course, the Toro Rosso not the best car, but Pierre Gasly has pulled out some pretty good results, and he'll be hoping in front of his home fans at his home Grand Prix, he'll be able to continue this general good form. However, his teammate Brendan Hartley is under pressure after retiring from the Canadian Grand Prix, even if it wasn't his own fault, and he needs a good performance to impress Helmut Marko and keep his place in the Red Bull structure, which seems to be increasingly under threat. Romain Grosjean is also another driver at his home Grand Prix this weekend, but in general, in 2018, he has been having an awful season. I know this is kind of mean, but even by his standards, it has been a really terrible season, and in general, I don't think I've ever rated Romain Grosjean, and he'll still want his first points of the season to come this weekend, even though Haas apparently have the fourth best car, even if the Constructors' Championship standings don't seem to show it. Generally, the team seems to be struggling to get some good consistent results, although there have been some good results for Grosjean's teammate Kevin Magnussen. Grosjean is apparently happy with the update on the car, but ultimately proof will be in his results this weekend, and he'll want them to be really good results at his home Grand Prix. Sauber Alfa Romeo will come into this weekend with lots of hope, and I would say they have been the surprise team of the season so far for all of the right reasons. They've certainly outperformed my expectations for them, and I think most of you guys will say the same thing. Particularly Charles Leclerc has been fantastic in 2018. Generally, I think he is going to be a future world champion, and we want to see more of these amazing performances at the French Grand Prix. I guess the aim for Sauber Alfa Romeo this weekend will simply be to get some more progress and maybe to up their position in the Constructors' standings. Final team to discuss is Williams, and I guess with Williams, nothing seems to have changed. Lance Stroll really did drive like an idiot at the start of his home race at the Canadian Grand Prix, and ultimately the car needs to improve. I guess with the regulation changes coming for 2019, we have to question when they're going to just discard basically 2018 and put all of their resources, of which there isn't much really, into the 2019 season. Of course, maybe the Mercedes upgrade may help them improve a bit, but generally for aerodynamics and downforce, their car is just no good. And I don't think they're going to get anywhere very far, or fast even, this weekend. Now I just want to do some predictions, and of course I want to hear your predictions in the comments down below or on Twitter. So I reckon with their new engine upgrade and the long straights at the circuit, I reckon Mercedes have the potential at least to dominate this weekend's Grand Prix, and I reckon they're going to get a 1-2 in qualifying and the race, with Hamilton taking pole position and the race win and Bottas in second. I'm going to put Vettel in third, that's probably quite a safe choice. Verstappen, Ricciardo, 4th and 5th. Raikkonen 6th. Ocon at his home race 7th. Gasly 8th. Leclerc 9th. And Alonso in P10. Tell me your predictions in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys this time next week when I'll be previewing the 2018 Austrian Grand Prix.